Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really profound question. What exactly was the scope of Adam's dominion back in Eden?
Yeah, it's a big one.
Our sources dig into some surprising stuff here, not just Eden, but Earth, the universe. Even dinosaurs get pulled into this. So yeah, let's unpack these ideas.
Absolutely. We'll look at Adam's specific temporary authority. But the interesting angle from our sources is this contrast, this potentially huge cosmic Hades
Right.
versus Adam's very, very earthly job. And that difference, it sets up, well, everything that follows, really.
Okay, let's start there then. This cosmic Hades idea. The sources suggest it's maybe not just, the underworld, but maybe the whole universe as a realm of darkness. How did it get there from Genesis?
It's a fascinating take. The material points to the first few days of creation, days 1 to 3. You have the cosmos forming, light, darkness. But the sun, moon, stars, they don't show up until day 4. So the implication is some kind of pre-existing spiritual darkness, this Hades, before our familiar sky. But, and this is crucial, even with that potentially vast backdrop, Adam's job, his temporary rule, it was strictly limited. Only Eden, only Earth. No authority beyond our planet.
Which makes you ask, why so Earth-focused?
Exactly. Why keep it so tight, so terrestrial?
Well, it's interesting that even Jesus, the creator, stepping into creation, his focus was squarely on Earth, right? The sources really highlight how Scripture seems laser-focused.
Yeah.
It tells humans what they need to know for their part in God's plan. It's deliberately an Earth story for our role in it.
And sticking with that Earth focus naturally brings up questions about what came before Adam, like dinosaurs.
Right, exactly. Dinosaurs. If Eden was perfect, how do these massive, sometimes scary-looking creatures fit? Our sources have a pretty provocative take on this.
They really do. The core idea they push is that, well, carnivorous dinosaurs couldn't have existed before the fall.
Okay, unpack that. Why not?
Because the curse thorns, pain, survival of the fittest, that all came after sin. The sources ask, how can you have predators when Scripture hints even lions originally ate straw?
Ah, I see. So it completely flips the script on the usual timeline.
It does. It suggests these dinosaurs, yes, they were large, but maybe extinct quickly. And they point to things like finding modern-type fossils alongside dinosaur fossils.
Which would mess with standard dating methods.
Precisely. For these sources, it suggests a much younger Earth, a more compressed history than we usually think about.
Wow. Okay, so picturing it, Eden is like this little pocket of light, God's order, set right inside Satan's much bigger, darker Hades.
Sort of, yeah. And Adam's job, his legitimate but temporary dominion, was specifically to push back Satan's influence within that earthly sphere, to conquer it for God.
But he didn't.
He didn't, and then came the fall. And this is where the stakes get huge. Our sources argue Satan's rule after that seems legit on the surface, but it's fundamentally unlawful.
Usurped, essentially.
Right, a temporary takeover. Judgment's just postponed. And then, connecting the dots, the last Adam, the Son, arrives. Yes, he comes to absorb that forfeited dominion. He doesn't just take it back. He becomes the rightful, the eternal ruler, which makes Satan's continued presence totally, unequivocally illegal. The clock is ticking, basically.
So, bringing this all together,
Yeah.
what does this vision mean for you listening, for the future? How do the sources see things playing out?
Well, they paint a really hopeful picture of a new Earth, a paradise without sin.
Not just metaphorically.
No, they envision a physically restored Earth, pure life, farming, marriage, animals living in harmony, kind of like Eden was meant to be, but permanent this time. A return to perfection.
It's quite a perspective.
Wow.
This deep dive really shows how these specific, almost legal details about Adam's original job description on Earth have these massive cosmic and eternal consequences. It's a huge story playing out right here.
It really is. And maybe that leaves you, our listener, with something to think about. If Adam's limited earthly role had such universe-altering ripple effects, what might that suggest about the impact, the consequences of your own choices and actions within your own spheres of influence today? Something to ponder.